Greetings, fellow disciples of Wendy. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, episode 196, Deathresting Archotech God. I wish I had... There are mods that allows you to recolor your stockpiles. And that mod would be pretty handy to be able to color code these stockpiles so that they don't ruin the color coding of the numbers. But I'm going to leave the stockpile in anyway. So who was Sam? You're the last one that needs to... Nope, not Sam. It was Bartlett. Time to kill Bartlett. Here is Bartlett. Rise it. That's a different bee. There you are. If I have as much rice as I currently have... Well, okay, that was a terrible sentence. But let's go ahead and make some drugs. That's what I was trying to say. So psychoid and hops. I have had a lot of mental breaks with the other Wendigos because of some of the cullings I've done more recently. It has upset them because I killed their loved ones or whatever. I don't know. I killed someone and they're upset. That's all I know. So I'm going to go ahead and try to drug them so that they're happy. You know, like you do. So this extraction is the last of that prediction. And you guys voted for me to try to isolate the power grid. So let's go ahead and do that. I will put a door back here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. First thing I should do is actually calculate the power needs before I start to do anything else, right? So how much power does it take to isolate this? So it's 15 times 2, so it's 3,000 watts of growth fat power, right? But that probably alone isn't enough, because then we also have, let's count, this is 200 watts a piece, even though it's 175. Well, I'll do 175. So 175 plus 175. So we're rocking 3350 plus the light, which is another 15. So this entire room is 3365 of power. But then we're also going to want the stoves as well, because without the stoves and the cooler being able to be powered up, food could be cut here as well. So then that's 350 a stove. So what is that? Plus 350 plus 350. Oh, come on, calculator. Give me a second. Stupid calculator app is going all batty. So all in all, that's about 4240 of power. And I've got 11 power cells at 400 apiece, which actually is kind of perfect. So all I have to do is move all of my unstable power cells to power up this facility, and it'll work perfectly. Could not have planned that any better. So I think what I'll do is I'll move the unstable power cells over here to their own isolation chambers. That will end up looking like this, you know, just the way I did the other ones. And then set up the wiring so that the gestation chambers are kept separate. So then once everything's moved, I'll work towards wiring. I don't love that the cells are so close to the edge of the colony, but it's not... I haven't suffered any sapper attempts in a long time. So, although I don't love it, I don't think it's super vulnerable. Nema Luisis, thank you for the resub. Welcome and cheers. Oh, there's nowhere to store herbal meds? Oh, wow. My stockpile is choked full of stuff. I appreciate the support. I really, really do. My Twitch and YouTube and all the money that I make, I would say 99% of it comes from your direct support in one way or another, whether it be Twitch subscriptions, bits, Patreon patrons, or people with disabled ad blockers on YouTube. I accept nearly zero sponsorships. I've only accepted one sponsorship ever in the history of the channel, and it was for a game I was going to play anyway, so I figured, meh, might as well have a sponsorship to play it. And it was a game that I had already played. So every sub keeps my bills paid and keeps me able to create content for another day. Might not be true for all content creators. Certainly not on YouTube, because some people do rake in the sponsorship money, but I do not. I've sort of chosen not to go that route. Maybe one day I will, I don't want to call it selling out, because, you know, bills do need to get paid, but maybe one day that will change. But that day is not today, and I don't have to cross that bridge just yet, so thank you. Keeping me open for business. Allowing me to commit a great many war crimes. Raid Shadow Legends when? Oh man. You know what? I am going to check my email for Shadow. See how many search terms come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... I'm going to stop counting because I just realized it scrolls. I have been emailed about Raid Shadow Legends. I'm going to take a Fermi estimate about 50 times. So, hey, Stream Elements, if you're out there. Stop. You've tried it 50 times. Cut it out. I don't want your stupid sponsorship. In fact, yeah. I don't want any of their sponsorships. I'm a moderator for the Twitch subreddit, and there's so many posts about not any one specific sponsorship company, but a lot of sponsorship companies sort of reneging on their terms. By that I mean like going, oh, it looks like the it looks like the people that you had signed up for the sponsorship opportunity that we offered are not legitimate, and unless you provide receipts, we are not going to pay you. That kind of thing, where it's like bait and switch. Real rude. T-Sang just got an inspiration, so here's what I'm going to do. What should T-Sang make? Charge rifle, armor for Wendy, or yeah, really just those two options. I don't really see any other viables. So boom, 1 minute, vote on that. Charge rifle would be nice. Armor for Wendy would be nice. Go either way. It's up to you. You know, if only I could get a RimWorld sponsorship. They actually, Tia Pixel, who is the community manager, or at least one of the community managers for RimWorld, reached out and offered Biotech to me for free. But I bought it anyway, and I re-gifted my copy of Biotech. I asked her first. I was like, hey, can I re-gift this? Because I want to buy it, you know? And she was like, oh, yeah, sure. So I ended up buying my copy instead. But that wasn't so much a sponsorship. I guess it really depends on how you determine what a sponsorship is. It wasn't so much a sponsorship opportunity as it was a free DLC. In my mind, well, I'm not the Federal Trade Commission, so I don't get to decide that. But I feel like, for me at least, a sponsorship would be like they're paying me, not just like gifting me a free game. Because if, you know, I get a bunch of garbage games gifted to me for free, like, kind of regularly, not to flex, but like, they're all games that are worth no money on Steam, essentially. And that happens often. So what I'm doing right now, if you're wondering, is creating these individual cubby holes for Doomsday and Triple Launchers, so that they're not in a combined stockpile now that I'm moving the unstable fire cells. I might as well reutilize this area for explosives. Keeping them separated because you guys had shown concern. Charge rifle, got it. Let's get that going. Oh, you thought you were sleeping? Nah, you're not sleeping. In fact, Soother, I'm not going to chance a wake-up addiction for T-Sang, though. Although, I could reverse engineer his genie genes. Because I don't need genies anymore. And I could actually genetically implant T-Sang to be like a better craftsperson. Like, never sleep and wake up resistant. I could also work drive him, yeah. Let me just hit him with a work drive. The new xenogerms here are the heat weakness ones, and I'm going to try to do it one last time. So implant. And implant. I'm glad I got so many different baseliners, because my results of those implantations have not fared well. And I decided just to, like, fill in the back here. So, alright. It looks like I am ready to remove myself from the general power grid now. So I just have to make sure I know what I'm cutting. Actually, don't cut there. I will cut this here. And this. There. Connected over here. And there. Those are, I think, the cuts I need to make. I'll double check. And that should separate the gestation area from everything else. And then all that's left is to run power up like that. Oh, and then to cut this too. Geothermal that shouldn't connect to it. I have in the past, when I'm given free games that I intend to play, I buy them anyway, so that it's not sponsored content. That way I can avoid having to jump through the hoops of, you know... actually, Twitch just released this week, or last week, updated rules about sponsored content, making it so that it's, you know, forced disclosures, and I agree with it. You know, it's something YouTube's been doing for years now, but that content creators are now forced to disclose whether or not the content is sponsored. And so, you know, if I'm given a free game and I'm like, oh, I like this, I'll just buy a copy for myself so that, you know, it's not sponsored content, to avoid violating any whatever. Ooh, jeez. Oh, dang. So, yeah, I had my battery backups connected, which was as a result of the volcanic winter, because the power, I was running the risk of brownouts. And this is how bad the explosion is, where I have huge chunks blown out as a result of the feedback. I'm glad it happened over there and not a farm, because that's, you know, less destructive. So they got cut. We have 2 power networks now. Now I'm going to clean up the cabling a little bit so that it's less messy. Also, I didn't account for the door itself, but I think it should be fine. I don't think there will be an issue. So as you can see, there's 2 obvious power networks. The one for the rest of the base, and the one for this kitchen and the growth vats. And the kitchen and the growth vats have dedicated power that never wavers. It has 20 watt excess, so math was perfect. And that way, even if the rest of the base browns out, I never have biostarvation. These stoves are always operable, so that, you know, I always have a flow of baby food, and this cooler stays on so that the rice, not that the rice or baby food's going to spoil, but, you know, there's no chance of it spoiling. I should make my battery backups more modular. I could. I've only really had this be an issue once ever, so once in 13 years is maybe not something that I need to particularly worry about. There. And now the power network is I can afford one. Oh, you know what? I'll put this light on. So this light can be installed here and connected to the power grid, wasting 5 watts. That's about as good as it gets. T-Sang managed a masterwork rifle. That's still pretty good. I'll probably give that to... So Lilin, you need your genetics reassessed for better shooting, so I'm not going to give it to you. Rogi, I think you're nearsighted, so I'm not going to give it to you. Dom, you need to be reassessed. Elabear? Probably Elabear. Or no, Zeleb. Definitely Zeleb. Because Zeleb has a sniper rifle. But not bad. Not bad at all. I forgot to choose the outcome of the last wager. I did not get heat weakness in 2 scans. me copy this text to 3. Just labeling them. Hey, Snaps. Mr. Snicker Snaps. Thank you for the resub, too. Oh. That's not great. Bang face done cut you up. So this whole cabinet here is kind of overflow now, but that's fine. And now each one is stored individually so that there can't be a chained event where everything goes boom in a bad way. Nice. I like it. It's more organized. Definitely more organized. Kath, you need some blood? There you go. Pretty good update to the room here. I love how it's 5 watts. That means that if there's a feedback shortage here, it's going to be such a tiny explosion, like a 5 watts. I mean, that's like a AAA battery going, oh, boom. It's like, yeah, okay, we can ignore that. Oops, I didn't realize I bled hurt twice. My bad. Glad I didn't kill you. So the project for the gestation area is kind of done, but given that I only have 15 minutes left, I'm just going to look for like small projects for me to improve upon. There's not a lot of time for me to take on bigger ones. So I think the small ones that I want to address is some genes, genetic ones. So we do have the 2 last baseliner prisoners implanted with the fire gene, or the heat gene, heat weak gene. And I'm waiting for their comas to wear off in about a day and a half apiece in order to scan them to try to rip the genes apart. But I'm not going to wait for that. So I did want to do Lillian's genes. So Lillian, you are an intellectual. So if I'm going to do Lillian's genes, I want her to keep intellectual and then also to get shooting. So let's build an implant for Lillian. Oh boy. All right, here we go. So the really important ones would be int and shooting. We can take awful mining, awful art and plants, awful social, awful animals, awful craft, awful cook, poor construction. All right, and then that's +6. We can make you unattractive. And very happy. Psychic doll. We also want the dead calm kind combo. Robust and reduced pain. I have +2. Super fast wound healing is always nice. Very fast runner would be great. So, give you something to give... Actually... I'll make you intense UV, and then give you also quick study. I like it. So the quick study... Actually, I don't think quick study is going to be useful. Because I think she's going to be like 18 shooter, 20 intellectual. And have almost nothing to level up on. So I'll save that 3 metabolism for something else. Maybe dark vision, elongated fingers, and hold tolerance, probably not that... super clotting. Alright. Here's the new Lilin. And then the other one, let's go down the line. So, you are nearsighted, so you're kind of a low priority, Rogi. Dom, go for you. So we're going to do one for Dom as well. Take a look at what Dom's working on. So Dom, you are plants. So I got to keep plants and shooting. Those are the important ones. So make sure to take great plants and great shooting. Dead, calm, and kind. So awful mining, poor construction, awful cook, awful animals, awful craft, awful social, awful intellectual. You came with robust and reduced pain, so I don't need to worry about that. I can override your your fast wound healing for super fast wound healing. Very happy and very fast runner. And then see if there's other wiggle room to do. If I gave you intense UV and very unattractive, I have more points to play with. So because you work with plants, elongated fingers wouldn't be terrible. Dark vision wouldn't be terrible, because most of the base is dark. I kind of need to rock dark vision on everyone at this point. Just because of how dark I keep the base. Pyrophobic and never sleep, so that you're always farming. And then 2 points left over. So I could ditch very unattractive or give you... yeah, there's really nothing wake-up resistant, but you never go to sleep, so that doesn't help. Did I give you super clot? Yeah, super clotting. That's an easy one. And maybe strong immunity. That's not bad. You're a shooter that never sleeps. You hate being in the sun. You hate being around fire. But, like, given that you're a farmer, I think that's fine. I don't know. Part of me says pyrophobic is going to become a problem, is going to backfire on me. But I don't know what I would give up for that. Maybe very fast runner and pyrophobic. And then take super immunity instead of strong immunity. Okay. So you don't run as fast, but like having pyrophobic shooters is really a problem because almost every raid there's going to be fires. So the more pyrophobic shooters I have, the more likely that my shooters that I'm relying upon like flee from combat and become a liability. And I want to avoid that as much as I can. You wonder if the process would be faster if crossing with baseliners for all the positive traits to be filtered out? Maybe. It's really hard to say because everything is kind of left to chance. It's a giant RNG gamble every time I do any breeding. So it's nearly impossible to say that one strategy is better than the other unless it's a particularly bad strategy, like relying upon inbreeding or something like that. Like, there's some strategies that are obviously not going to work, but apart from those obvious strategies that are broken, you know, going purely on baseliner filtration versus other methods, your guess is as good as mine, really, as it comes down to. And I think at this point, Wendy, you're due for a death rest. Have you top up on blood first. And then rest. Oh, is this a raid? No, it's a bandit outpost. For garbage, so I don't really care. Masterwork assault rifle, but like... yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's 4 inlier, which is really funny. I mean, I'm going to undelete it. We'll see. We'll see if I want to do it in 5 days. How old is Wendy at this point? She is, well, she's 40, but she's been 40 for a long time. So I think the way, I might be mistaken, but I think the way vampirism works is after you hit 18, or at this point, ever since she became a vampire, her biological age hasn't changed, but her chronological age has climbed. So if you wanted to go to like episode 1 to figure out what her chronological age is and do the math, that's how much time has passed, or rather 770 days have passed. Which is, 12 years and 12.8 years have passed since the start of the scenario. But yeah, she's a vampire, so the numbers are a little weird. One other thing I wanted to do is to gift some garbage. So I just forbid the egg storage for the eggs I want to keep, and I'm going to gift an ally some junk. Not all of it's too bad either. Some of it's actually pretty nice. I just want to free up storage space because our stockpiles are getting a little choke full of random junk. This whole continent are all recipients of weird hand-me-downs from Wendy at this point. Every single royal in the glitterworld empire is wearing a Wendy human corset, human leather corset. Started a whole fad of her own. Oh man, 3 biokid weapons. That's rough. A lot of garbage in here. I don't particularly need. It's probably more relationship than I even need to gift, but freeing up the junk space is cathartic for me. That looks pretty good. Alright, one big ol' haul. Everybody grab some stuff. Miniguns are expensive. They are, component-wise. It's really too bad you can't melt them down to, like, components. Because it takes a lot of components to make a minigun. But you don't get them back, right? Same with, a lot of the weapons. Minigun is 20 components. Can't I skip bio-coded weapons? I could, but, it's nice to get rid of them, I think. So that they're not sitting around in the stockpile waiting to explode. They're very difficult to use in combat situations because you have to like set them on fire and then skip them at your enemy. They're basically more effort than it's worth, more headache than they're worth, in my opinion. So whenever I'm given the opportunity to get rid of bio-coded weapons like that, I do it because otherwise it's just annoying. Also seems to me like my people have been hauling in slag but not melting it down very fast. I might need another smelter, or I might need to open it up so that fabricors can smelt. So that's a lot of backlog there. Maxu, Whammy, and Madsen are all 17. Just hit 17 though, so it'll still be a day or two until they pop out. So I'm making a note to myself to vote for new colonists. Maybe more uranium shelves? Yeah, I could do that at some point. So it seems to me like the only embryos that haven't been loaded in are the ones that are forbidden to be loaded. So we're good to go. 12 or 18, I'll go with the 18. Who keeps sucking your blood? What is going on over here? You're not hemogen farmed. That didn't really have that much of a positive effect for how messy this thing is. I have a lot of medicine. So let me do this. Sometimes I tend colonists in here when I extract eggs, so I'll put a shelf of medicine in there. And then shelves here can have bionics, which is mostly just like nuclear stomachs, but they're stored up there. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with my storage. I could do herbal meds here instead. I do have shelves for silver. I could make more shelves and just like balloon this out, stockpile out even further. I'd like to get to a point where it's just I don't have so much garbage. But most of this stuff is usable to some degree or another. Like Trumbo for shirts or wool parkas or, you know, things that we might need at some future point. I think we're doing okay. If I want to do like a stockpile overhaul or have a dedicated stockpile, I obviously could. You know, I could set up a proper trade stockpile like right here, for instance, as a possible future goal. I'm just not going to jump to go do that now because I don't think it's absolutely necessary. It's a nice to have, but not a need to have. There's enough open space here. I could also move all the plasteel out to this stockpile. Plasteel doesn't decay, can't be destroyed, so it doesn't need to be stored inside. And it's not super likely to be stolen by raiders, because they'd have to get behind the walls. So the total number of corpses we've got, 527. I've been butchering human likes kind of all stream long and ended up with a ridiculous amount of human leather and human meat. And still, I've got so many more humans to butcher. Busy day. Wendy's death resting and just tidying up. The xenogerm implants are not yet ready. These guys are still on coma for about a half a day. And genes regrowing for all of the gene ripping still as well. Well, friends, I think that this here is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch June 11th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Wendigos.